Now, over the years, we've run in lots of trail shoes from the inov-8 brand, and I've got to say, I've had some highs and some lows along the way. Really loved running in the super grippy X-Talon Ultra 260 V2, a great shoe for muddy, wet conditions. But I also enjoyed the Trailfly G 300 Max, again, very comfortable for long distances. However, when I tested out their very popular Trailfly G270s, I did have some comfort issues when it comes down to the upper. So the ankle collar on that shoe was quite stiff, and towards the end of a couple of long runs, it did start digging into my feet and causing me a few comfort issues. So when I heard that the inov-8 brand were updating that shoe with a softer, more comfortable upper, I thought I needed to test it out because I actually really enjoyed some of the other aspects of that shoe. And here it is, the Trailfly G270 V2 in this rather glorious blue and orange colorway. We're going to give you a few specs, a few facts, and we're going to break down the construction of the shoe in a bit more detail. And then I am hitting the trails in this good looking trail running shoe. Welcome back, folks. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. Hope everybody is fit and well out there, and thanks for joining us for another video. If it's your first time on the channel, then welcome. It's great to have you along. And if you enjoy what you see, then why not consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Super easy to do. Only takes a second by clicking on that little red subscribe button down in the corner, and it is completely free, but it's definitely a big help to the channel. While you're there, don't forget to hit that bell icon, because then you'll be notified when we upload any new exciting running content. So we are back today with another first run, first impressions video, and I did warn you guys they're going to be coming thick and fast over the next couple of weeks. Okay, so let's get stuck into the stats, the specs and the features of the updated Trailfly G270 V2. Firstly, the outsole is exactly the same, that POWERFLOW MAX foam cushioning that you got on the previous version, and you have the identical G-Grip graphene enhanced outsole. So like I mentioned in the intro, all the updates have come when we look at the construction of that upper. It's now going to retail in the UK for £150, and weight wise comes in at a reasonable 287 grams in a UK 10. This model of shoe from inov-8 has always run on a zero drop, so you don't have that normal sort of heel offset that you get on a lot of running shoes these days. So you've basically got the same 12mm stack height on the heel and under the forefoot. As far as the construction goes, let's start off first with this new updated upper. So inov-8 have added a bit of stretch and a bit of breathability to the forefoot, so giving the runner a bit more room, a bit more volume to breathe in that toe box. We've got some padding added to that form-fit gusseted tongue. When I say some, I mean a tiny amount. It is still a very thin tongue design, and again, this is an area in the shoe where I struggled with the previous version. Towards the end of those long runs, I could feel the laces pulling through that tongue and digging into the top of my foot. So hopefully that small amount of padding that has been added is going to solve those comfort issues. Also, inov-8 claim that this new lightweight mesh material that's been used has been tested in the lab, and it is now 25% stronger than its predecessor in the V1. So should make it a pretty durable trail running shoe, but I guess only time will tell. The ankle collar, definitely a lot softer, a lot more flexible. I really did find the ankle collar in the V1s way too stiff, way too aggressive, and again, towards the end of a longer run, I could really feel it sort of digging into my foot under the ankle bone, and it did cause me some discomfort and irritation. So I got high hopes for the updates there. And then finishing off that upper, we got some structural overlays starting at the heel, working around the midfoot for a greater sort of hold and lockdown, and around that toe box just to help when it comes to wear and tear. And we got some sort of reinforcement worked in around the lace eyelets. As already mentioned, you get that same POWERFLOW MAX cushioning in the midsole construction that you got in the original V1s, and I'm happy to say it is still paired up with the brilliantly bouncy BOOMERANG footbeds to give you that nice cushioned, springy feel underfoot. Like they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and I really enjoyed the levels of comfort and energy return I got in the original V1s from a pretty minimal midsole construction. Turning the shoe over, and we've got that identical G grip outsole that you got on the previous version. So for those who aren't familiar with graphene, it's actually the world's strongest material, and inov-8 have been using it for some years now, and they've been infusing it into their outsole rubber to make it a lot more durable. Hence the name G grip. The G stands for graphene. Again, this was a part of the V1s that I actually really enjoyed, and they gave me a pretty good level of grip and traction on all terrains. And then finishing up, we've got a few sort of meta flex grooves across the forefoot there. That's just to give you a bit of flex in that toe box to make it feel a bit more responsive and a bit more agile. So there you have it, the new Trailfly G 270, and you can see not many changes this time round, and it's definitely more of an update than a remodel. And dare I say it, with this shoe being inov-8's best-selling trail shoe, they probably didn't want to faff around with it too much because it really has built up quite a loyal following. But that's enough of me talking for now. Let's get these on our feet, let's get out on the trails and see if those updates to the upper have made this a more comfortable option.
How long do I have to stay? Close my eyes when you come my way. All these secrets we swept away. So easy to remember.
Okay, it really does have like a spring feel out here tonight. What with me in my little lilac outfit, really mild, and we got this nice sunny evening as the sun goes down. And yeah, this has been sent to us from Say Sky. I got this grey and lilac outfit. Liga got sent a nice pastel yellow outfit, and it's from their latest drop. And I've actually seen some of the kit they've got coming out throughout the year. All looks amazing. They've got a real performance range coming out. They've got some great designs, some great prints, and I've even heard there's going to be a new floral design, so I'm really excited to see that. As far as the shoe goes, we are 2 miles into the run, and the first thing I've got to mention is about fit. Now, it does feel very much like an Ultra shoe. Now, I've just recently reviewed the Lone Peak 7, and if I didn't know, I'd say I'm in an Ultra, not an inov-8 shoe. So obviously it's got that zero drop, but I think where they've sort of expanded that volume in the toe box, it really does have an Ultra feel to it. Early days in the run, obviously, but the new Trailfly is feeling really nice. And the route we got planned today is I'm going to be heading down to Hale River, so it should be lovely down there this evening. We got a bit of tarmac to soak up first, but it's actually going to be the same route that I ran in the previous version of this shoe when I took it out for its first run. So it should give us a real good comparison. So we'll crack on. Like I say, 2 miles down. Run's probably going to be 8-ish miles by the end of it, but feeling good. Good to be out.
Just a spark and we're off the ground. I'm leaving this planet now. Leaving this place behind. Just a spark and it's all around.
Now, I know I keep harping on about this in every video, but I really can't believe how dry the trails are down here in Cornwall at the moment. Normally down by the river in February, it is a proper bog fest, and there's not even a puddle in sight. So we're just under 4 miles into the run, and we've ran a big section of tarmac, and this midsole handled it with ease. And I'd forgotten what a great combination that POWERFLOW MAX cushioning and then boomerang footbeds are, you know. Handles the hard stuff really easily. It really is a clever midsole design because it's actually quite minimal, and when you pick up the more technical sections of trail, you feel super connected, really stable, you've got great ground feel. But then, like I say, if you have any sections of compact trail or tarmac, you bounce along there and it feels great and nice and light and nice and responsive. So I'm having a great time out here on this spring-like evening, and I feel like I'm bouncing along, and I don't know whether it's the shoe or the fact that I went to see Kate yesterday and had a good massage and flushed out all that build-up over the arc of attrition. But yeah, loving it. Body feels good.
Just a spark and it's all around. Come on and take my hand. Just come on and take my hand. So it's just a cry.
so we're just about to pick up that road section again. We've probably got 1.5 miles of tarmac until we get home, but it's been a great run out here this evening. So we found a bit of everything. We've had a bit of pavement, a bit of rocky gravelly trail, a bit of grass, and I even managed to find some boggy mud on the way back home. Okay, so we're going to head home now, and we're going to go into a bit more detail about how the inov-8 Trailfly G 270 V2s have performed. So we'll see you guys in the studio. So a good 9.2 miles in the training bank today, and I was super happy with how my legs felt out on the run. First things first, when it comes to the new Trailfly, with inov-8 making those changes to the upper, having that softer, more flexible ankle collar in the shoe, it really did feel quite a bit more comfortable out there on today's run. I had no digging into my foot, no irritation at all, so that's good news on the comfort front. I know before the run I kind of mocked the amount of padding that inov-8 have put in the new gusseted tongue, but again, it did feel more comfortable. I personally would still like to see maybe a little bit more padding in there, but that's just a personal choice, but definitely more comfortable when you compare it to the tongue in the V1s. In true inov-8 style, I would say they do size up a little bit on the short side, so I tend to go up at least half a size, sometimes a full size, depending on the inov-8 model. This is a UK 10, so I've only gone up half a size in these, and I would say the length is just right. Good room in that toe box, so plenty of space to allow my feet to splay or spread over distance. And I did mention at the beginning of the run, it has got a kind of ultra feel to the fit of the upper, and I'd say there is maybe a little bit more volume in that toe box compared to the previous version. I felt really secure in the shoe out there on the run, so really good lockdown around my midfoot and good hold in the heel. But I do think the upper's got quite a lot of volume or depth to it at the midfoot, and I did have to pull those laces in quite tight to achieve that fit. And then what happens is the upper starts to sort of bunch up a bit at that flex point, and I'm never really a big fan of that. Don't get me wrong, it didn't cause me any issues out on the run, but what that normally is a telltale sign of a running shoe that's not quite working for your foot shape. I was a big fan of the original midsole setup and boomerang footbed combination in the original Trailfly G 270. Obviously, there's been no changes on that front, so I'm still a big fan of it now. I'd kind of forgotten how well this midsole handles a big mix of terrain. For me, definitely has enough cushion in there to soak up longer sections of tarmac. Don't get me wrong, it's not sort of Hoka-Mafati soft, but it really does perform well for such a minimal stack height on the hard stuff. And then obviously when you pick up the more technical trails, because you're not running on that deep midsole, you've got really good connection and really good ground feel. So that combination of that POWERFLOW MAX and that boomerang footbed really do offer a good balance between comfort and stability. When it comes down to the outsole, I've always been a big fan of this G grip outsole, and I feel it's pretty consistent when it comes to grip and traction on most types of terrain and underfoot conditions. However, I do see quite a big mix of comments whenever we do a video, and some people like me, they really get on with it and they feel nice and confident, and then you get the odd viewer saying that they feel it struggles when they're running in sort of wet, rocky environments. I've got to be honest, I've never found that with the G grip outsole, and I've not had any slippage issues when running on wet rock down here in Cornwall. So maybe it's a certain type of rock that it struggles with, but like I said, I've had no problems with the outsole. So wrapping up, and it was a pretty successful first outing in the new Trailfly G 270 V2s. I think those updates have made the shoe a lot more comfortable for me. No digging in, no irritation, which is definitely good news. And I'd say if you're a fan of this shoe before, then you're still going to be a fan of the new version, because those updates are super subtle, so you can let out a sigh of relief. The only thing I would say, and I said exactly the same about the previous version, is I'm still not fully convinced about the whole zero drop thing on the Trailfly G 270. Now I know offset is super personal, and what works for one won't work for another, but I just think it would make the Trailfly a lot more versatile if it had a slight offset on that heel, say around 4 or 5 mil, so nothing super crazy, but I think I'd really struggle when it comes to longer runs or longer races with the lack of an offset. So there you go, that is 2 first impressions videos down, and we've got 3 more heading your way very soon. So we've got 2 trail shoes and a road shoe, so keep your eyes peeled for those. We're also going to be training for an up and coming race, and it's actually a road race this time round. So again, we're going to give you a bit more information about that on the channel soon. If you are interested in getting your hands on a pair of the new Trailfly G 270 V2, it is going to be releasing on the 16th of February, so you haven't got long to wait. Also, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about our Arc of Attrition race day video. I'm currently going through all the footage, and we actually had 4 people out there filming on race day. So as you can imagine, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clips to go through. So it is going to take some time. Plus, we really want to do our short arc series and that epic race some justice. So the video has to be really good. So be patient, it will be along soon. But as for now, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. It is really appreciated. We'll be back here very, very soon. And as always, stay safe and keep on running. So wrapping up, and it was a pretty successful first outing in the new Trailfly G 270s. And those in there. We want to do our short arc series and that epic race some justice. So be patient. Be patient. So be patient.